I'm a mom, and I love my family. I show my love in a variety of ways, including making them decadent desserts. Why, just today I'm whipping up my famous double chocolate triple fudge cake. Can't share the recipe, that's my little secret. What? If I really loved my kids, I would make more nutritious food for my family? Well, that's preposterous. I make them all kinds of vegetables. This is just a little treat, and a little treat never hurt anyone. What's that? Why should I be spending my time baking instead of spending quality time with my kids? Look, not being with my kids 24/7 doesn't make me a bad mother. What do you mean I've put my family in danger with this kitchen? Because it has knives in it? Then pray tell, what should I use to prepare this nutritious food that I'm supposed to be making them more of?
Mom, failure. Mom, failure. You are a failure as a mother.
I'm a mom, but it seems like moms just can't win, no matter what they do. I didn't need any more reasons to be child-free, but the internet just keeps handing them out. On top of not liking kids that much, preserving my mental health, and the fact that I don't fucking want to have kids, now there's avoiding harsh criticism for doing a thankless job that sounds like misery and hellfire. And lately I've noticed moms getting shat upon, perhaps more than usual, like millennial moms who the internet has labeled abject failures as parents, and sad beige moms who are abject parental failures because of their decor choices. What better day than Mother's Day for a child-free lady to talk about all the discourse around moms, why we hold moms to such an impossibly high standard in the first place, and what we should be saying to moms instead of calling them failures, and how all this mom shaming makes choosing a child-free life more enticing. And yes, I am proudly child-free, which doesn't mean I'm anti-mom. I'm more anti-kid than anti-mom. I support women to make whatever choice is right for them, whether that means having kids or not. But why would a child-free woman like myself bother making content about moms, especially when she isn't one? Well, we're all in this together, all of us. Shaming one kind of woman is damaging for every kind of woman because it limits our acceptable life choices even further. Child-free women already know what it's like to be called failures. We're called failures for not having kids, but it turns out that you can't escape the harsh judgment of society even if you do have kids. You still have to be a certain kind of mother, the perfect kind. But turns out that there is no perfect mother. So let's talk about two kinds of mothers that the internet has recently loved to criticize. The first kind of imperfect mom is the moms who are ruining their children. They are the moms of Gen Alpha kids and are generally understood to be millennial moms because people of all ages love blaming shit on millennials. Remember when boomers accused us of the death of canned tuna? Well, fuck off, I eat my share of canned tuna. Anyway, the latest buzz is that Gen Alpha is fucked, and it's all their millennial parents' fault. And I'll agree with you on one point, Gen A is fucked because we're all fucked. We're all facing climate change and political unrest and division, but at least us olds have some kind of experience and frame of reference to make sense of it all. Gen Alphas were either babies or very small children during a global pandemic in which their entire little lives were upended. Even if they're too young to fully understand what happened, they feel all of these stressors. We all do. See, I understand kids, even if I don't want to be around them. But the claim is that these kids are doomed because they are illiterate feral demons chasing educators out of the profession with their awful behavior, and that millennials are solely to blame because they're such bad parents. And while I have no real experience to speak from since I don't like kids and avoid them at all costs, so I will concede that maybe these kids are as bad as everyone makes them out to be. But devil's advocate here. I'd also like to point out that the oldest Gen Alphas are like 12 years old. The youngest are newborn babies. And young kids generally are feral and illiterate because they're still learning how to be humans and learning how to read, and they don't always do a great job of not acting like monstrous little shits or reading. I will also concede that literacy is very important, and 12-year-old kids who can't read at even a first grade level is concerning. Sure. But do we blame the US school system for using debunked research to teach kids to read? No! We blame moms for giving their kids iPads or not disciplining them enough. And do we blame Apple for manufacturing an addicting product? No, we just yell at women for neglect instead of giving them what they need to be more present parents, like childcare, or an equal division of household labor. Because there's nothing more we love as a society than yelling at women for everything. I mean, maybe demanding that they sacrifice everything to make everyone around them more comfortable. Maybe that. I don't think millennial moms are doing a perfect job raising their kids, but I also don't think that their kids are doomed. And I really don't think that it's 100% the fault of the moms. I mean, sure, we can turn our backs and wash our hands of Gen Alpha. You know, children under 12, like miniature people who love processed, breaded, extruded, chicken-based food, aren't tall enough to ride all the rides at theme parks, and who eat off the kids' menu because it's too late to help them learn to read or have table manners or whatever generational deficiencies people like to rant about millennial moms not supplying their kids with. Or we can take a look at the systems that moms have to overcome in order to be parents and, do something about it. The very systems that many child-free people have elected to nope out of because we recognize that parenting is an uphill battle that we would rather not fight because we value other things. Because we don't want to get yelled at. And if I'm willing to cut these kids and moms some slack, me, a child-free villain who shirks away from kids like a hot stove when she sees them in public, maybe y'all are being too harsh or clickbaity. But wait, there's an even more insidious, colorless underbelly that's ruining the lives of children across the nation. It's the sad beige moms. They're traumatizing their children. Won't someone think of the children? These women are ruining their child's lives. By what? Depriving their children of food, sleep, clothing, cuddles? No, even worse, color. What is a sad beige mom? She's a woman with a distinct but not unique sense of style. She loves muted earth tones and dressing her children in flowy white clothing. She hates the traditional primary color palette of children's toys. She's controversial, but she's also an economic force of nature because toy and children's clothing manufacturers have responded to the market demands of these sad beige moms, and now make so many sad beige clothing items and toys for children. Now, do I think this design style is completely overdone? Yes. Do I think that it lacks personality and individuality? For sure. Do I think it's in any way interesting? No. But yet, I find myself soothed by the soft, colorless mediocrity that is the sad beige mom aesthetic. While I wouldn't choose to decorate my home like this, I can see how a mom struggling to maintain her mental health in the face of visual clutter of kids' toys would want a serene space free from garish colors, because I also feel completely overwhelmed by the garish colors of children's toys and cite the mess and overwhelm of children's shit as a reason not to have kids. But we can't just let these moms decorate their homes in the way they choose, can we? Not when we can use this as an excuse to make a woman feel bad about herself and tell her that the living room she's worked so hard to strip the color from is ruining her child's life. I don't have a background in childhood development or early childhood education, so, there might actually be some science behind how depriving a child of colors can break their brain. But this isn't that. Sad beige moms aren't walking around the world shielding their children's eyes from color. They are just curating the objects that come into their home. Sad beige moms aren't traumatizing or abusing their kids because they won't let them have a few shitty toys. If we all based how traumatizing our childhoods were on not getting the exact toys we wanted whenever we wanted them, we would all be axe-wielding sociopaths. Having a certain decor style in the home is not the same as depriving your child of color. There's a whole world of color out there in stores, playgrounds, their little dumb friends' houses, daycare or school, grandma and grandpa's house, museums, nature, books. Also, let's not forget about another design feature, closets or toy boxes. At least one of the articles that I read about sad beige moms featured a quote from a sad beige mom who reminded us that social media is curated, and what we see is curated, and that these beige kids also have ugly, noisy, shitty plastic toys in addition to their soothing wooden handcrafted toys. They just put them away when they're done playing with them, and they're out of sight. Sad beige moms have created boring yet safe and tidy spaces for their kids. But somehow they're not just gently mocked for following a design trend that will look dated in 5 or 10 years. No, they are accused of being selfish and stunting their child's development just for the gram. And it's exhausting to watch. Give the moms a fucking break. So we've thought of the children, and they'll probably be fine as long as you don't keep little Kaylee in a cage when she's not performing for your TikTok feed. Your kid will probably be the same level of messed up as the other kids, which is, a little. So what about the moms? What about the moms? Won't you think of the mothers? Well, if you won't, I will. This child-free person isn't here for the mom shaming. A mom is still a human being. She doesn't cease to be a person just because she's created life, which is, I guess, a power so terrifying that we need to take it away from women by dehumanizing them, by telling them that their needs are secondary to their family's needs, which is one reason that I and many other child-free people have opted out of parenthood, because this erasure of our personhood is unacceptable. We're already shamed for our choice not to have children. Seeing that the shaming doesn't go away just because you adhere to society's expectation of you and have a kid is very disheartening. Child-free people see that parenting is a hard job that doesn't come with much support. And we've chosen not to do it because it just gets harder when people are criticizing everything you do. So we just don't do it and live our lives. Becoming a mom means that you are now held to a higher standard, an impossibly high standard. You have to be nurturing, sexless, selfless, all-knowing, tireless, a fierce protector, and display saintly patience no matter how irritating her children are behaving. No one human can be all of that all of the time. At the end of the day, moms are just people. People who have preferences. Letting mothers of young children follow whatever Instagram design trends they want is empowering for mothers and children. It shows kids that their mothers have value past cutting the crusts off their sandwiches, and that their mothers are human beings with preferences, and that her self-expression is important too, even if it's kind of boring. So ease up on the sad beige moms and admit that they are allowed to have something for themselves, like the absence of color. That their interior design needs are just as powerful and important as those of a toddler. And ease up on the millennial moms of doomed, feral, illiterate children. They've got a lot working against them. Maybe don't be part of that and support moms instead of trying to tear them down. Even a child-free person can see that telling moms that they're failures doesn't make them better parents. Stay hot, weirdos.